These are lessons in las calles.
Lesson 1, La Puerta. Before we take to the streets, this video provides a few guidelines on the language acquisition process. First, let's start with something we all know how to use. Think about how we learn to use our cell phones. We don't start by studying for years learning every detail of the phone. That would be ridiculous. We learn by using the phones and finding the simplest ways to make them do what we want them to do. If we were to switch carriers, we would immediately notice the differences and find the easiest ways to do the most important stuff. Now let's look at this in terms of languages. Matthew Yulden and his brother speak over 20 languages. If they were to do this the traditional way, sitting in a classroom, it would take them 3 to 4 years each language. Instead, they use 3 simple rules, which are the basis of what we use when designing LEC. First, analyze the differences. Every review video will cover the practice video following these guidelines. The document attached will provide more information on language structural differences. Lexical refers to the common usage of the term. The definition of a word in the dictionary is the lexical definition. However, we use different language under different circumstances. Imagine a library full of books with a million ways to express the same idea. Many words in your new language are essentially synonymous. To make learning quicker, we first focus on word classes that consist of a few fixed words to express abstract concepts, such as this and that, left and right, good and bad, and so on. Fixing these concepts as synonyms will take you far in any language. The bulk of learning will be over nouns, verbs, adjectives, adverbs, and prepositions. Differences can also be syntactical. Syntax is the way in which we build phrases and sentences. It is just as relevant knowing the word as knowing where to place the word in a sentence. For example, English probably wasn't Yoda's first language. Let's take a look at how he talks. In English, we use do to form negatives and questions. The more acceptable phrase would be size does not matter, but do cannot be used in this manner in Spanish or any of the Romance languages. We are luminous beings. Sometimes in Spanish, the direct object is stated before the verb. As a native English speaker, you may not even be aware of conjugation. For example, in the phrases I am, you are, he is, the actual verb is to be, but when attached to the subject, it conjugates appropriately. In Spanish, the subject and the verb are combined. Finally, phonetical differences. Phonetics refers to the written expression of sounds within a language and the way we use our mouth to make sounds. Check out this video of 3 distinct languages. Listen to the sounds and rhythms of each language. Recognizing and imitating the pattern is the first step to understanding and having correct pronunciation.
In una città vicino a Milano, studio all'Accademia di Belle Arti di Milano, Brera, sono al 5º anno della facoltà di Belle Arti e niente, adesso sono qui in Siviglia per gli ultimi giorni.
你好吗？我的名字叫齐吉，我来自中国安徽。我来塞维利亚学西班牙语和英语，非常喜欢这里的生活，非常高兴的认识你们。
Español, soy Felipe, tengo 25 años, estoy aquí en Sevilla desde hace 5 meses para estudiar hostelería. Vale, y con eso me he encontrado a un americano, a un chino y un italiano.
Many English speakers struggle with rolling their R's, like in the words perro and burro. But understanding phonology can not only help remedy that, it will improve your speech comprehension because you'll be more able to recognize words that you've read. Rule number 2. Keep it simple. It's easy to become overwhelmed when learning a new language. But keep in mind that even a native English speaker doesn't know every word in the Oxford Dictionary. In addition, it will take time to acquire vocabulary. However, anyone can learn a language given time. There is no simpler way to learning a language than thinking of the language as if you were a child. A child spends on average 1 to 2 years before saying a word. Children's first words are always relevant to their environment, like ball and bear. Reading to children exposes them to descriptive words and imagery, and society provides constant need to communicate. Most children probably know more than 1,000 or 2,000 root word meanings before attending elementary school, so you better do the same. Keep your sentences simple and don't worry about expressing exact verbs. Here's a trick that might help you remember words in your new language. The trick to mnemonics is word association. Since adults already have words in our minds, we naturally seek synonyms in a new language. Take the word door, for example. Now imagine a door. If you can, walk to the nearest door and touch it. Create a strong mental image. The Spanish word for door is puerta. Like the name of this video, it also sounds like portal or port. Now imagine opening the door and being drawn into La Puerta de Spain. The more elaborate you make the image, the clearer the word will remain in your mind. Now for a slightly more difficult example. The Spanish word for bread is pan. What can you make if you put bread in a pan? French toast. Imagine eating some delicious French toast after putting bread in a pan. Now try the same exercise with Spanish word coche or car. Rule number 3, make it relevant. Ask yourself why you're learning the language and start by learning what you need to say those things. Say you're going on vacation in Spain. Learn how to talk about money and products you might buy. That includes numbers, clothing, food, interrogatives, and demonstrative words. Say you're going to work in a new country. You might need to know about times of the day, safety, supplies, etc. First, immerse yourself in the language. Whether you're coming to Spain or not, changing the language settings on your devices will provide some regular input in your new language. Watch shows in the language and challenge yourself to understand. Second, actually go out and speak. Unlike this guy who might need to speak his new language for work, you might need some encouragement to speak up. Try to use your new language in your relationships and with family and friends. Remember that by learning a new language, you're opening yourself to millions of people worldwide, and you have to take advantage of that, so don't be shy now. Travel the world and learn with native speakers. Start with simple and regular engagement in the target language. Ask questions when you don't understand, and don't be afraid to make mistakes. The Lessons in Las Calles review videos will follow the same format, as in analyzing the differences, simplifying the dialogue, and reviewing the activity. This video is brought to you by the Language Consultants and by Ascend Global Institute, Sevilla.